It's been 24 hours since the Ring of Fire eclipse, and the universe is already answering. Right now, as you're watching this, there's a massive energetic split happening. The women who actually went through the portal yesterday, who actually died and came back different, they're receiving confirmation, clear, undeniable physical confirmation that they transformed, opportunities appearing out of nowhere, money showing up unexpectedly, people treating them differently, doors opening that were closed yesterday. The universe is literally rearranging reality around them to match their new frequency. And the women who didn't actually transform, who slept through the eclipse or who performed the ritual without actually dying to the old version, they're experiencing something completely different. Silence. Not peaceful silence, anxious silence. The kind of silence where you keep checking your phone, hoping for a sign, where you keep refreshing your email, waiting for the breakthrough, where you're wondering if the eclipse actually worked because nothing feels different and nothing's changed, and you're starting to panic that maybe you missed it. And here's what you need to understand. That silence is the answer. The universe isn't making you wait for confirmation. The universe already confirmed. The silence is the confirmation. It's telling you that you didn't actually transform. You're still operating at the old frequency. You're still the same version you were before the eclipse. And now you're in this horrible in-between space where you know something was supposed to happen, but you can feel that it didn't. And you're trying to figure out how to catch up to the women who are already living in a completely different reality than they were 24 hours ago. I'm going to tell you exactly what the wealthy women are experiencing right now, the specific confirmations they're receiving, and I'm going to tell you what the silence means if you're experiencing it. And I'm going to give you the protocol for the next 48 hours that might be your last chance to lock in the transformation before the portal closes completely. But first, you need to understand what's happening astrologically right now, because the shift that's occurring today is making everything more obvious, more felt, more undeniable. Tiamat didn't create through order. She created through dissolving everything into chaos first. Let me tell you about Tiamat, the Babylonian goddess of the primordial waters. Before there was form, before there was structure, before there was any kind of order, there was Tiamat, the saltwater ocean, the chaos, the infinite possibility that exists before anything becomes anything specific. And in the mythology, Tiamat's body was split in half by the younger gods who wanted to create order. They used her corpse to create the world, sky from one half, earth from the other, and people always tell that story like it's a tragedy, like Tiamat was defeated. But here's what they miss. Tiamat didn't lose, she transformed. She went from being formless chaos to being the actual container of all form, from being infinite possibility to being the structure that allows specific reality to exist. She dissolved into chaos so she could become creation itself. That's not defeat, that's the ultimate power move. That's what's happening right now for the women who went through the eclipse. Yesterday was Aquarius energy, mental revolutionary, sudden clarity about what needs to change. You knew in your head that you were different. But today, the sun moved into Pisces, and Pisces is Tiamat energy. It's the dissolving, it's the feeling, it's the shift from knowing mentally to knowing in your body, in your womb, in your cells. The women who really transformed, they're feeling it today, not thinking it, feeling it. There's this visceral sensation that they're different, that the old version is actually gone, that they can't go back even if they wanted to, and that feeling is what's attracting the confirmation. Because the universe doesn't respond to what you know, it responds to what you embody. And embodiment is felt, not thought. The women who are experiencing silence, they know they're supposed to be different. They can think about how they should have transformed, but they can't feel it, because they didn't actually die. They performed the death, they did the ritual, they burned the paper, they set the intention, but the actual death rebirth sequence didn't happen in their body. It stayed conceptual, mental, and now that the energy has shifted from mental Aquarius to felt Pisces, that gap between concept and embodiment is becoming painfully obvious. What rich women are experiencing 24 hours post-eclipse, and why it's already too late to fake this. So let me get specific about what the women who transformed are experiencing right now, because I want you to check yourself. I want you to see if this is happening to you, and if it's not, I want you to understand exactly what you're missing. First, unexpected money, not manifested money, not money they were already expecting. Money that shows up out of nowhere. A client pays early. Someone asks to work with them at their new raised price without negotiation. A refund comes through they forgot about. An investment pays out. It's not huge amounts necessarily, but it's immediate. It's within 24 hours of the eclipse, and it's the universe's way of saying, I see you operating at a new frequency, here's the confirmation. Second, people treating them differently, and this is subtle but undeniable. People they haven't talked to in months reaching out, people who used to take them for granted, suddenly being more respectful, people who used to expect free access, suddenly asking permission. It's like everyone around them got the memo that this is a different person now. Even though nothing was announced, even though no conversation happened, the frequency shift is so obvious that people are responding to it unconsciously. Third, doors opening, opportunities appearing, invitations to things that match their new frequency. Maybe it's a speaking opportunity, maybe it's a collaboration request, maybe it's access to a space they've been trying to get into. But whatever it is, it feels easy, it feels natural, it doesn't require hustle or convincing, it's just showing up, because that's what happens when you're operating at a new frequency. The opportunities that match that frequency magnetize to you. Fourth, clarity about next steps. Not vague knowing, specific, actionable clarity. They wake up this morning knowing exactly what to do next, who to contact, what to create, how to move. And it's not coming from their head, it's coming from their body, from their womb, from this deep knowing that doesn't require analysis. Pisces energy is activating their intuition, and because they actually transformed yesterday, their intuition is now operating at a completely different level. And fifth, peace. This is the one that really separates them from the women experiencing silence. They're not anxious, they're not checking for signs, they're not wondering if it worked. They know it worked because they can feel it in their body. There's this deep, settled peace that comes from knowing you're a different person now, that the old version is actually gone, that you don't have to perform or prove anything, you just have to be who you are now and let reality rearrange itself around you. Now, if you're not experiencing these things, if instead you're feeling anxious, uncertain, still waiting for something to happen, here's what that means. You didn't go through the portal, you're still the old version, and I know that's hard to hear. I know you did the work, I know you set the alarm, I know you did the ritual, but doing the work isn't the same as actually transforming, and the silence you're experiencing right now is the universe being brutally honest with you about that. Aquarius, the confirmation you're getting is invisible to everyone else, but you can feel the crown settling. If you're an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising, and you actually transformed yesterday, here's what you're experiencing today. The confirmation you're getting isn't external yet, it's internal. And it's this: you can feel yourself not caring about their approval anymore, like it's not even a struggle. It's not, I'm choosing my sovereignty over their comfort. It's, I literally don't care if they're comfortable. That's not my responsibility anymore. Yesterday, the eclipse happened in your sign. It deleted your need to be liked by the collective. Today, with the sun in Pisces, that deletion is moving from your head to your body. You're feeling it, and here's how you know it's real. Someone reached out today, someone who usually gets immediate access to you, someone who's used to you being available. And when you saw their message, you didn't feel guilty about not responding. You didn't feel like you owed them an explanation. You just didn't respond, and it felt natural. Or maybe you woke up this morning and looked at your calendar, at all the commitments you made when you were the old version, the community obligations, the free labor you agreed to, the people-pleasing yeses, and instead of feeling trapped by them, you felt clear. I'm cancelling these. Not I should cancel these. Not I want to cancel these. Just I'm cancelling these. And then you did it, without drama, without over-explaining, just clean boundaries from a completely new frequency. The confirmation for you isn't money yet. It's not opportunities yet. Those are coming. But the first confirmation is this internal shift, this felt sense that you're sovereign now, that you belong to yourself, that the collective can have access to you when you choose to give it, but they don't own you anymore. And you're not performing rebellion, you're not trying to be different, you just are different. And everyone who's still expecting the old version is going to have to adjust or leave. Between now and the end of this week, your job is to trust that internal confirmation more than you trust external validation, because the external validation is going to lag. People are going to be confused by your new boundaries. They're going to try to pull you back into the old version. And if you're waiting for their approval of your transformation, you'll shrink back. But if you're trusting this felt sense in your body that you're different now, their confusion won't shake you. You'll just stay in your new frequency and let them catch up or leave. Leo, your invisible power just became visible, and the confirmation is in how people are suddenly willing to pay for you. Now, Leo sun, moon, or rising, if you transformed yesterday, here's your confirmation. Someone asked your price today, or inquired about working with you, or requested your time, and when you told them your new rate, the rate that the old you would have been terrified to charge, they said yes, without negotiation, without hesitation. They just matched your new value. And here's what's wild about this. You didn't even announce that you raised your prices. You didn't make a post about your new rates. You just knew when they asked that you were worth more now, and you said the number from this calm, certain place, and they felt that certainty, and they matched it with investment. That's the confirmation. Not that someone paid you, that someone valued you at your new frequency, without you having to convince them, because yesterday's eclipse was opposite your sign. It revealed the gap between your performance and your actual power. And today, with Pisces energy activating, that actual power is becoming visible, not through louder performance, through quieter certainty. Here's what else you might be experiencing. You posted something today, or you showed up somewhere, and the response was different. Not bigger necessarily, different. The people who used to consume you for free, they're quiet. But the people who actually value you, they're showing up stronger, with more respect, with more investment, with more reciprocity. The eclipse just filtered your audience. It deleted the extractors and amplified the investors. Between now and the end of the week, pay attention to who's stepping forward and who's stepping back, because that's the universe showing you who belongs in your new reality. The people stepping forward, who are matching your new frequency with actual investment, keep them, build with them. The people stepping back, who are complaining about your new boundaries or your new prices, let them go. They were never going to pay you anyway. They were just comfortable consuming you. And here's your specific confirmation protocol. Every time someone balks at your new price or complains about your new boundaries, don't lower, don't explain, don't soften, just hold, because the next person who comes through after them is going to say yes without hesitation, and that yes is the universe confirming that you're operating at the right frequency now. Libra, you chose yesterday, and today the universe is showing you the cost and the crown simultaneously. Okay, Libra sun, moon, or rising, if you actually transformed yesterday, here's what you're experiencing today. Someone is upset with you. Someone whose comfort you would have prioritized before the eclipse. Someone who's used to you keeping the peace. And today, when you saw their discomfort, you didn't immediately try to fix it. You didn't rush in to smooth things over. You just let them be upset. And it felt weird, but it also felt right. That's your confirmation. Not that you're comfortable with the imbalance. You're Libra. The imbalance is always going to feel uncomfortable. But you're choosing your wealth over the balance anyway. You're choosing your power over their comfort. And you're doing it even though it feels wrong, because you can feel in your body that this is actually right. Here's what else might be happening. You raised a price, or you set a boundary, or you made a decision that clearly favored yourself over the collective, and someone called you selfish, or cold, or changed, and the old you would have immediately backtracked, would have tried to prove you're still the same nice person, would have lowered the price or softened the boundary to restore harmony. But today, you didn't. You heard them call you selfish, and you thought, yes, and you heard them say, you've changed, and you thought, thank God. You felt their disappointment, and you didn't make it your responsibility to fix. That's the transformation. That's the confirmation that you actually went through the portal. And here's the crown part. While that person was calling you selfish, someone else showed up ready to pay you. While someone was complaining about your new boundaries, someone else was respecting them without question. The universe is showing you in real time that when you choose yourself, the right people show up. When you maintain the imbalance, wealth flows in. When you stop trying to keep everyone happy, the people who actually value you make themselves obvious. Between now and the end of the week, every time you feel that Libra pull to restore balance, to smooth things over, to make sure everyone's comfortable, don't let the imbalance exist. Let people be uncomfortable. Let someone be disappointed, and watch what shows up in that space you didn't fill with people pleasing. I promise you, it's going to be wealth, it's going to be respect, it's going to be reciprocal relationships, but only if you can sit in the discomfort without fixing it. Why the next 48 hours matter more than the 24 that already passed and the protocol that locks everything in. Alright, so here's where we are. It's been 24 hours since the eclipse. The women who transformed are getting confirmation. The women who didn't are experiencing silence. And we're now in the most critical 48 hours because the portal is still open, but it's closing. And what you do in the next 2 days will determine whether yesterday's shift becomes permanent or whether you slip back into the old frequency. If you're one of the women receiving confirmation, your job is simple: lock it in, make it irreversible. Every confirmation you receive, act on it immediately. Someone asks your new price and says yes. Invoice them today. Someone shows you respect. Expect that as the new baseline. Someone steps back because of your boundaries. Let them go completely. Don't leave the door open. Don't soften it later. Lock in every single confirmation by making it permanent. If you're one of the women experiencing silence, you have a choice. You can accept that you missed the portal and wait for the next one, or you can use these next 48 hours to manually create what the eclipse would have done automatically. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. But you need to understand it's going to be harder. It's going to require more conscious effort, because you're not riding the eclipse wave anymore. You're creating the shift yourself. Here's the protocol. First, make one irreversible decision today, not tomorrow. Today, before you go to sleep tonight. End a relationship that's been draining you. Quit a situation that's been undervaluing you. Raise a price. Set a boundary. Something that proves to the universe you're serious. Something that can't be undone. The women who transformed did this automatically yesterday. You're doing it consciously today. Second, feel it in your body. This is the Pisces energy that's available now. Stop trying to think your way into transformation. Feel your way into it. Sit with your body. Ask your womb what needs to change. Listen to the sensation instead of the thought. And then act on what you feel, not what makes logical sense. The wealthy women are operating from feeling now. If you're still operating from thinking, you're going to miss it. Third, watch for the lag confirmation, because here's what happens when you manually create the shift. The confirmation doesn't come in 24 hours. It comes in 48, 72 hours. So if you make an irreversible decision today, don't expect the universe to confirm it tomorrow. Expect it by the end of the week. And don't let the lag make you doubt. The confirmation is coming. It's just on a different timeline than it would have been if you'd caught the eclipse wave. Fourth, protect your new frequency. For the next 48 hours, you're extraordinarily vulnerable. The old patterns are trying to reinstall. The old version is trying to come back. And every time you talk to someone who knew the old you, they're going to unconsciously try to pull you back. So limit contact. Don't explain your changes. Don't justify your new boundaries. Just be different and let them adjust. And fifth, trust the silence if it's peaceful. Because here's the thing, there are two kinds of silence: anxious silence and sovereign silence. If your silence feels anxious, like you're waiting for proof, like you're checking for signs, that's the broke silence. That's the confirmation you didn't transform. But if your silence feels peaceful, If you just know you're different and you're not worried about proving it, that's wealthy silence. That's the confirmation that the transformation happens so deeply that you don't need external validation. All right, it's been 24 hours since the Ring of Fire. The universe is answering. Some of you are getting clear confirmation that you transformed. Some of you are experiencing silence that's telling you you're still the old version, and you have 48 hours left to lock in the shift or create it manually. This is not the time to wait. This is not the time to see what happens. This is the time to move, make the irreversible decision. Feel it in your body, trust the confirmation when it comes, and lock in the new frequency before the portal closes completely. The wealthy women are already building their new reality. Join them or watch them leave you behind.